Jesus knew all of his friends' faults before he ever befriended them. Yet he befriended and invited them in to stay in his love ministry with him anyway. He was able to see them through his eyes of love and the big picture of inviting them to be a part of his love ministry with him, including their faults and all. I just love that. Look at all of the beautiful love and healing ministry all his friends did together with Jesus. Yes, even with all of their faults and all their flaws, they helped Jesus to bring about his kingdom of love as they teamed together with his perfect love. What they may have thought limited them to ever be able to minister, Jesus turned into beautiful love and healing ministry opportunities for them to walk shoulder to shoulder alongside of him, accomplishing more together than they ever could have alone. His perfect love combined with their imperfections and their willing and humble hearts really helped bring about the kingdom of his love ministry to all who would believe and receive. It was perfect love himself that saw value and worth in them to use in his love ministry. His perfect love equipped them. Yet I believe it was his perfect love believing and receiving them, even with their imperfections, that truly caused their friendship and love ministry to soar. The very flaws and character defects they most likely had used to discount themselves or others used to discount them, perfect love saw as a beautiful heart key to open others' hearts' doors who struggled with the very same or similar imperfections. Jesus knew this. Who better could he have chosen to reach the lost and the rejected? Who better could he have invited to join him on his love mission to help him reach the abandoned and those bullied, shamed, or condemned? His love ministry idea was perfect. He chose his love team along with their faults and all of their imperfections to join him on his love mission. He hand-selected hearts like you and me that he knew were the very ones he could invite to get down in the dirt and the messy with him. He selected imperfect people like you and me to minister to the insecure, the socially isolated, those no-named hearts that felt unknown or forgotten, as well as the fearful, heavy-burdened hearts and the depressed. He handpicked those who would join him in comforting all who mourn, and providing for those who grieve. He wanted the very ones he chose to be his companions. He knew he could send them out to bind up the broken-hearted and to help him announce freedom to all captives. I can't imagine more compassionate and empathetic hearts he could ever choose to help minister his healing love to the lonely and imperfect hearts than the very ones of us who really do understand on a very personal level what it feels like to hurt. We've all known what it feels like to feel unqualified, unprepared, or unequipped. Yet it wasn't about picking his love ministry companions because of what they did or didn't do externally. It wasn't based on the history of grades they had made on their love report card. They didn't have a love degree. His perfect love qualified them. He looked internally at their hearts and said, I want this one to be a part of my love team. Then one by one he invited them, including their faults and flaws, and the rest was a love healing ministry purely based on just being love come near. Just meeting every need with his perfect love, which was a beautiful love mission accomplished through imperfect people with an imperfect past. Just like you and me. His love team grew and grew, and it wasn't just his disciples. There were also those that made a love choice to follow Jesus and become a part of his love ministry team simply because they fell in love with his healing love. It was their personal experience of his love lessons that made them into becoming his kingdom lovers. Every heart he called into his love ministry and everyone that followed him had real struggles like all of us do. So, it is easy to imagine that because they very much understood what a broken heart felt like. Or they had experienced personal struggles themselves. This personal and deep understanding also made them be more loving, patient and kind, as well as more compassionate and more empathetic to others during their struggles. I cannot emphasize enough how very important this is in ministry. You see, Jesus turned all those hard life moments they went through into something good. Not only for them, but he also used it all for good to help them know how to minister to others during their hard life moments as well. He always used all the good and not so good moments of their lives to prepare them to be the perfect love choice to accompany him on his love missions. Please hear me say, being a part of his love ministry has never been about being perfect or flawless or problem-free. If anything, it's people witnessing how Jesus loves us in spite of our faults, flaws and problems that draws broken hearts and wounded souls to his love. It's them witnessing how loving, patient, kind, compassionate and empathetic he is to us during the hard moments of our lives that magnetizes and attracts the hurting to love's side. His love ministry then and now still is only about being his perfect love to others, even as imperfect as we are. It's about being loving, patient, kind, compassionate and empathetic to others like his perfect love has always been to us at all times, especially when we need it the most. Whether or not those he called into his love ministry ever knew how it felt to be judged, shunned, side-glanced, skipped over or disqualified because of their imperfections, or whether they were just an average person with a whole lot of love but not a lot of experience in ministry, or whether they considered themselves the least of these. Joining Jesus' love team was the most important choice. It was a love decision internally inspired by being personally healed, redeemed, saved, chosen, accepted and called by love himself. I assure you, they didn't come into his love ministry with a love or ministry degree. They became love when they were healed by his love. It really is that simple. Their love experience with his healing love was all the hands-on experience that was needed. Their hearts were taught purely by his love that he had shown to them, and the love they witnessed him unreservedly showing to every heart that opened up to his healing love. It is so true. As you witness how Jesus loves others, you understand firsthand why being loved by Jesus' love begets wanting to be his love to others. When you began to think about the very things they imagined disqualified them for his love ministry, and then you see how Jesus used all of it and moved in and through their open hearts to minister his love to others. It makes you realize how he can use your open heart and everything you have been through, the good, the bad and the ugly, to be a part of his love ministry to others too. It is vital to understand. Their love ministry wasn't born until they met love himself. But once they did meet love himself, once they experienced his perfect love from the inside out, everything changed. Then all they wanted to do from that moment on was to be love spent for Jesus the way Jesus had been love spent for them. All they wanted to be was to be love, which is the most important thing we can ever be. To be his love. You see, Jesus invited and called all of us into his love ministry. He called the ragamuffins like you and me into his love ministry. He already knew he could redeem and heal all of us with his perfect love. He also knew the very hearts that would need to be ministered to are also struggling with some of the very same issues we've struggled with. He knows every heart healed by his love is love-equipped to love others like he does. He knows he has invited and prepared every heart healed by his love to make the beautiful love choice to love and accept others with his perfect love. Right where they are in the middle of the dirt. Right there in the middle of their mess, just like he loved and accepted us. Yes, loving others even through their hard-to-love moments is some of our most opportune times to love and minister to them the most. Now, I am sure back then they had their hard-to-love moments like we all do. But they pursued the greatest mission and ministry they could ever be a part of, which was just being Jesus' love come near. I believe his love helped them give people permission and the space to be okay with not being okay. But I also believe that once their love came near, Broken hearts, minds and bodies were healed and never the same. Their love mission wasn't go in with an "I'm gonna fix you" attitude. Their love simply came near, befriended them with the same perfect love Jesus befriended them with from the very beginning. Faults and all. Love changed everything. We are all ragamuffins before being changed by His love. We were all messy, broken and imperfect. We were all in need of His healing love and mercy. Not one of us in this moment is too broken or too damaged to be wanted. Not one of us now is so far gone that His love can't reach us still. Not one of us is so whole that we don't need His healing love every single breath and moment of our lives. What a love story. This is the beautiful story of His healing love and is all the more beautiful when His love story lives on in and through all of us. So, let's continue our heart-to-heart talk about the heart of Jesus's perfect love ministry. It didn't matter who Jesus encountered. It didn't matter what they had done or what they needed. Jesus just kept choosing to be love over and over and over again. Doesn't that sound like the most perfect friend ever? Can you imagine having a true loving friend like Jesus? Can you imagine meeting someone who knew all of your flaws and faults, shortcomings, strengths and weaknesses, and who knew all the dirt on you yet never used it against you? Jesus saw and knew all of it before He had ever encountered them face to face. He actually used that which they saw in themselves as unusable or disqualifying, and instead He saw and knew He could use those very things to help them to be able to love and minister to others in a greater way than they ever thought they could. Just the same. Your dirt never once repelled Jesus. Your flaws, faults and sins never caused Him to turn His face away from you, nor do they disqualify you or make you unusable to do His love ministry. Your shortcomings and unspoken messy parts have never made you unworthy to be used by Him. You would have thought it was your strengths that drew His heart to you, but rather, it was your weaknesses and all the dirt He knew about you that caused His love to come near to you. So He could show you what real love is. So He could show you what real love does. And to show imperfect you that you are loved by His perfect love right there in the dirt. Right there in your mess. In the middle of your doubt and all your fears, and regardless of your imperfect history. He still invites you into His love ministry to be who He called you to be. His love come near. To people like you. To people like me. It's quite comforting to know that Jesus knew all the flaws and faults of all those He befriended and invited to be a part of His love ministry. He knew all their strengths as well as all of their weaknesses. He saw all of their dirt, their mess, their doubt, their history, and still invited them into His love ministry. Because who better to reach the hurting than those who have known hurt themselves? He specifically chose the ones who weren't afraid to kneel in the dust, to sit with the shamed, the rejected, the lonely, the bruised and abused. He chose the ones He knew were still gonna mess up time and time again. To Jesus, ministry has always been about loving imperfect hearts. Someone's ability to minister hasn't ever and will never be based on their nearness to achieving perfection, or how impressive their resume is. Nor is it ever based upon their long list of qualifications. His love ministry is purely based on loving Him, loving ourselves with His love and loving others. It's all about the nearness we come to experience in His perfect love and bringing others to experience His perfect love with us. Love is always after the real. Love is always ready to meet you right where you are. Faults and all. Love is not worried about your history, the good or not so good. His love just says, come as you are. I love you and accept you. I choose you to be my child of love. I will heal what you cannot heal. I just want you to become a part of my love story. I just want you to come with me. Come to the home of my heart. Come follow me here. to the house built for you. Come with me to my house of love. And it is in his house of love. We are always welcome and invited. It is in his house of love that all of us ragamuffins will never be disqualified. We are all welcomed home to the kingdom of love where we all belong. We are all invited to become his kingdom lovers with him and join him on his love mission. And here is the good news. You don't have to clean up first, get your act in order, make the A-list, prep yourself, or get qualified for the Father of Love to be able to love you and use you to be his love to others. So, please don't ever dismiss, disqualify, discount, or limit yourself or others for any of these reasons. While it is true we are imperfect, it is even more true that through his perfect love Jesus has made us fully acceptable and qualified in and through his finished heart work of love. Love himself has made us perfectly loved, received, and fully welcome and invited into his house of love and kingdom of love ministry. Out of this beautiful experience, learning to love ourselves with his love faults and all, we will then be able to begin the Heart2Heart love ministry of loving others with his perfect love faults and all. This is when we will see his kingdom of love come in and through us. So let's begin and continue to team our imperfections together in his love. All it takes is our willing and humble hearts, loving one another heart to heart, and walking shoulder to shoulder alongside his perfection. Learning to love one another, faults and all, is how we become able to reach with his perfect love into the hearts of imperfect people and love them to the Father of love. That is when the world will see and know that love between imperfect believers is the kind of love that can truly love and minister Jesus' love and the gospel of peace, the good news, to them regardless of their imperfections, struggles, flaws, and issues. As imperfect hearts are welcomed and opened by perfect love, his true love ministry that redeems anything and everything is going to happen. I know that because I experience his perfect love in my heart every day. Even when I too am imperfect, I know he is going to use all of it for his glory in his love kingdom. Because I invited his perfect love to love imperfect others through imperfect me. That's my love ministry born out of his perfect love. It is the loving kindness and love of Daddy God in and through us that will help draw others into his heart of love so they too can be a part of his love ministry with us, to reach the world through Christ's love. Perfect love is not judgmental, guilt-tripping, shaming, or condemning. Love's arms are open to receive and hold everyone and anyone, no matter what they've done. Love's welcome mat is always out to welcome all into his house of love. He invites every one of us, faults and all, to step into his house of love. Everyone who receives his free gift of love through his finished work at the cross, through his burial and resurrection, is included. His love does all of the healing work in you, faults and imperfections included. Your life will never be the same once you encounter the perfect love of Daddy God through his loving Son, Jesus. I only have time to love you. I don't have time to focus on your flaws and imperfections. Loving you with his perfect love is all that you will experience here in the house of love. Only love is spoken here. Being his love to one another no matter what is what matters. Only the world, religion, and legalistic law-based thinking and believing finds time to criticize, judge, shame, or guilt-trip you about anything. That is not love's way. His love is only good and always feels like love because every word of his truth, the good news, is spoken in his love language. I want all of us in his kingdom of love to be his love to you. We're inviting you to come alongside us and be part of his love ministry, loving one another and others together with the heart and love of the Father. Your heart will fit beautifully inside his love just like mine does. Though we've all missed the mark of the abundant life, made mistakes, or walked through difficult seasons, none of that will ever be able to separate you from the love of God or from His love ministry. People's opinions, assumptions, judgments, or criticisms of you and your faults, flaws, and imperfections will never be able to come between you and the love of Jesus, especially once you encounter the heart of Daddy God and discover your true identity is only in His perfect love. While there has been cleaning, repairing, restoring, and redeeming work to do in all of us, love Himself has already finished the work. It's up to us to accept His invitation, believe it, receive it, and it becomes ours for eternity. Love has already done it all, and He has done it all for you and me. Our privilege is to share this good news with others as we assure them of His love for them. I pray His love in all of us will continue to remind you and reveal His love to you, even when you or we miss the mark. I also pray that we will continue to walk in teamwork together in His love, so that His kingdom of love can flow through us to all who open their hearts wide to receive His love in and through us. You don't have to be perfect or flawless to be my friend, or for us to do His love ministry together. Let's keep sharing His good news and walking in His love side by side, so His kingdom of love can come through us. So as we close this heart-to-heart moment, let this truth rest deeply in your heart. The very same Jesus who knew every fault, flaw, fear, and failure of His friends, yet still called them, walked with them, and loved through them, is the very same love calling you today. He is still choosing ragamuffin hearts. He is still building His love team. He is still turning wounds into healing ministry. He is still inviting imperfect people to walk shoulder to shoulder with His perfect love. Nothing about your past disqualifies you. Nothing about your weakness repels Him. Nothing about your imperfection cancels your calling. You are still chosen, still invited, still wanted, still being called to be His love come near. And together, faults and all, our willing hearts, joined with His perfect love, will continue bringing His kingdom of love to every heart ready to receive it. That is His love mission here in the house of love. And here in the home of His heart is where you and I will always belong. Love blessings to all. Heart to heart in His love, Momo Smiley.